The day is finally here. We're off on a new adventure that's going to have us doing things we've never done before. We'll actually be able to check a couple of things off of Heckenbach's goals for 2023. Today is a couple days after Christmas, and we're headed out for a trip through Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Kentucky. But of course, as always, we have to start by traveling through Illinois. Made it to Illinois. Our first stop will be Kansas City and Infusion Designs, where we'll have an addition added to our Campinawe. Then we'll head down through Missouri to Arkansas, where we'll make some new friends in the Ozarks, and then visit Hot Springs National Park. And on the way back, we'll spend a few days in Land Between the Lakes. This will also be our first extended trip with our Campinawe instead of a rooftop tent, and a winter camp out on top of that, although we're getting lucky because it's not supposed to be too cold, although it is 9 degrees as we're leaving Indiana this morning. We're coming off several days of negative Fahrenheit temperatures and wind chills, so this actually feels pretty good. We're looking forward to a little bit warmer temps, though. One of the things we have to be careful of when traveling this time of year when it's this cold out is ice fog and black ice. As we were traveling this stretch of road, we came across several cars in the ditch. So that's a little bit nerve-wracking, especially when pulling a trailer. Yeah. We've made this trek to Kansas City several times now, and no trip across Illinois is complete without a stop at Wally's. For those of you not familiar with Wally's, it's sort of the Illinois version of the Texas Buc-ee's.
We have another stop. Got half a tank. Fuel now.
Wally's is in Pontiac, Illinois, and has just about anything you could need while on a road trip. After a quick stop, we were back on the road again and headed into windmill territory. Windmills are becoming really common in both Indiana and Illinois. We actually have several new windmill development projects taking place in Indiana right now. So I'm just curious whether other states are developing this as well. Let us know in the comments if windmills are common where you live. The bridges you can see in the distance here are the Eagle Bridges in Valley City, Illinois. They cross the Illinois River, and this is one of the least populated areas of Illinois. Valley City is actually the smallest municipality in Illinois. This is about a half an hour to an hour east of the Mississippi River. The bridges were built in 1988, and interestingly, Interstate 72, which crosses them, wasn't completed until a few years later. They're beautiful bridges with a great view of the Illinois River. The next major landmark, of course, is the Mark Twain Bridge over the Mississippi River at Hannibal, Missouri.
Mississippi River at Hannibal, Missouri. On what's today? The 27th of December, 2022. It is 28 degrees out. When we left home this morning, it was 9.
We've never stopped to visit Hannibal, Missouri, but that is definitely someplace we would like to check out someday. If anybody has any suggestions for things to see there, let us know. Then, about halfway through Missouri, we came across this municipal airport, and I thought it was the coolest entry to a municipal airport we'd ever seen. The airport is in Chillicothe, Missouri, and I was surprised to learn about 5 states have towns with that particular name. Most of them are up here: Ohio, Illinois, Missouri, and a little research says that that name comes from the Shawnee for big city. But Texas also has a town named that, and when I researched it, it said that it was named after the town in Missouri.
Welcome to Kansas, baby.
Our destination today was Lawrence, Kansas. We didn't realize, though, that when you enter Kansas, I 70 shortly after entering becomes a toll road. We have an I-Pass, so we went right through the Easy Pass lane, not even thinking about whether it would work in Kansas. It works in most of the eastern United States. Turns out it isn't accepted in Kansas, so we're keeping our eye on the mail for that ticket we're sure is coming. We learn something new every trip. We would also be staying tonight in a KOA campground. This would be the first time we've stayed in an RV park. When planning the trip, we couldn't find any dispersed camping or state park camping near Bonner Spring, which is where we needed to be the next morning. So KOA it was. You'll know you're almost to the Lawrence KOA when you come across this little piece of Americana. I don't think it's associated with the KOA in any way. It just happens to be right outside the entrance.
Hey, it says they have propane. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Our kids had gotten us an Ignic propane tank and case for Christmas, but we hadn't had a chance to fill it before we left. We're wanting to move away from the disposable tanks as much as possible, but don't feel like we need a big 5-pounder.
So I would go up there by the office and
Right there?
and we'll see there if there's something about late
Night
check-ins,
registration. Late
arrivals,
arrival.
welcome. Okay.
There you go.
We were nervous about how check-in would work since we were arriving after hours, but they had it all set up really well and there was no problems. It had been a long day. We had been driving for over 9 hours. The temp had got up to 30 degrees Fahrenheit, but that was still pretty chilly. So we had planned to just go out for dinner tonight. So once we got the camper all situated and set up and unhooked, we headed over the Kansas River about 5 minutes away and into the town of Lawrence for dinner. Lawrence was not at all what we expected. On the map, it doesn't look like that big of a town, but it is a bustling little metropolis. Massachusetts Street, right downtown, is loaded with restaurants, breweries. Anything you want to eat, you could probably find on Massachusetts Street. We ended up having to park 2 or 3 blocks away, but that's okay because we needed some exercise after that long day of driving. We were really surprised how busy it was and how many people were out and about on a Tuesday evening when it was 30 degrees outside. We were headed to Free State Brewing, but when we got there, there was over a half an hour wait, and we were tired and hungry. So we went across the street to Black Stag Brewing for dinner instead.
Pretty good.
Recording you. What are you drinking? Did you forget what it was called?
What am I drinking?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said, what are you thinking? I'm like,
No.
oh, I'm thinking you're kind of weird. I'm drinking C3PO.
Yeah. What is it? Because I thought it was really interesting.
It is spicy, roasty, chocolatey, a little bit of heat, and some sweetness.
Madagascar peppers. I don't know what those are.
They're not very hot. Just
No.
a slight
cocoa.
taste of heat.
After dinner, we decided to take a drive around town and check out the Christmas lights.
Both sides. That almost looks like a Halloween tree.
We hope you enjoy them as much as we did. We were completely beat by this point, so we headed back to our Campinawe and called it a night. Tomorrow we would be up and on our way before the sun even rose to head over to Infusion Design for our appointment to have an addition added to our Campinawe. We were so excited to meet everyone over there and to be able to check out their shop. And of course, we'll share that with you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching, and we hope you enjoy coming along with us on this new adventure.